Okay, that's my favorite intro song.
It is a good
Just
one.
saying.
I like that.
I like that one. Yeah, welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Tim Buckley, Lauren Coleman, and Ariel Cadet.
Hey, thanks for watching us on the WFMI News 2 Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMI News 2 app.
And you're in store for a treat today. We're going to be talking on Facebook about what you don't like about fall. You know, a lot of people like fall.
All right.
So we want you to weigh in on what you don't like about fall. So we'll get to that chat a little later on in the show.
All right, but first we have to get to some serious news developing in the Triad. For the first time, we're hearing from the pilot whose plane crashed in Greensboro. Wesley Parker says he was completing practice rounds yesterday at PTI Airport when his plane went down. Surprisingly, he was quite calm when we spoke with him today. He's a seasoned pilot that's been doing this for 50 years.
You know, I do all the things that you need to do before you go up. We had a fire extinguisher on the airplane. I have 4-point safety harnesses, and I had them pulled tight, which I recommend to everybody to do that. I had them pulled tight, and when I actually hit the ground, you know, that's what kept me from hitting anything in the cockpit. And the airplane failed just as it's supposed to. It absorbed all the energy, and I walked away.
Parker did go to the hospital, but is doing fine. Amazing. His plane landed in between two homes. No one was inside, but some damages did occur. Parker has more details on what happened leading up to the crash coming up at 5.
Greensboro police are investigating a deadly shooting on Rollins Street. Officers say someone shot a 17-year-old yesterday afternoon. EMS took the teen to a hospital, but he later died from his injuries. If you know anything about this shooting, call Crime Stoppers. GPD is also asking the community for help with solving a recent homicide. Investigators say someone shot and killed 19-year-old Cameron Cole last month on Glenwood Avenue. Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Again, if you know anything, give them a call.
The water in the city of Reedsville is now safe to drink. Officials lifted the boil water advisory today after work on the main water line. The issue stemmed from a busted pipe on Scale Street. Crews flushed the city's water lines, which impacted several businesses, homes, and schools. They say everything is fine now, with water samples showing no signs of contamination.
Right now, cleanup and rescue efforts continue in southwestern Florida after Hurricane Ian. Here is a look across Fort Myers, where 150-mile winds ripped through more than a week ago. Things look much better than days before, but flooding, it remains a real problem. Officials fear it could be years before the state makes a full recovery.
Hurricane Ian is long gone, but residents in southwest Florida are still dealing with heartbreaking damage and loss.
Unfortunately, I lost my husband in this storm, so it's pretty devastating.
In Lee County, which saw the highest number of deaths, search and rescue teams are looking through demolished homes and buildings for signs of life.
Getting in and out of there and making sure that our teams stay safe and don't get hurt, along with our canine people and our dogs. It's very difficult.
The only access bridge from Florida's mainland to heavily damaged Pine Island reopened to residents this week, giving way to grief and despair.
It's like a death of a loved one. You know, it's just like the pain just comes and goes.
This group of volunteers traveled by boat to bring water, food, cleaning supplies, and even toys to families in need.
I reached out to just my team and kind of see what the need was, what happened, and then it just grew from there.
While Ian has passed, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the danger remains, even further inland.
The issue is like you have all this water that's built up, and the coastal areas drain a lot easier.
The governor says Florida's Disaster Relief Fund has raised almost $40 million to help people in need as the state braces for a long recovery ahead.
If you are looking for ways to help with recovery down in Florida, we've made it so easy for you. Right now, we do have this article posted on our website, WFMYnews2.com, with all of the organizations collecting donations that you can trust. They include the American Red Cross, Florida Disaster Fund, Salvation Army, Children's Emergency Fund, and Project Hope. Well, Tim, this might be bad news to some, but I think it's great news. You're tracking a cool forecast for this weekend. Pretty chilly, huh?
Yeah, you know, right now, Lauren, everything is pretty warm outside, and some people even say, oh, it's too warm for fall. I say, calm down. it's not going to be forever. We will be cooler heading into tomorrow. Lots of sun right now over Winston-Salem. Temperature is close to 80 degrees, but there's no humidity. It's pretty comfortable. There's a nice breeze as well. We'll all be fine. That's right. Look at that blue sky right now over Greensboro. Just a couple of high-level clouds, and this is the last really warm day for quite a while because that cool air on the way really is going to mean business for our area. So this time tomorrow, temperatures will be at least 15 degrees cooler than what we're seeing right now. Temperatures in your hometowns look just like this. Even the North Carolina mountains at the moment are in the upper 60s, close to 70. So very comfortable out there in the high country. Over the next few hours, whatever you're doing for Friday night, it just looks great. Whether you're out in the town or you're going out to dinner or just sitting on the backyard or going to a football game, you are in very good shape here locally. Temperatures will stay around 70 through about 7 o'clock this evening, cooling around 60 by around 1 in the morning. And after that is when we keep on getting cooler. So that cool air really starts to arrive during the day tomorrow. Notice this is kind of how you can tell. Around 55 in the morning, but only around 65 for the afternoon. So we only warm 10 degrees throughout the day. That's a small difference, and that means cooler air is moving in. So for your weekend, here's how I see it for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday will be the cooler of the 2 days. Sunday, slightly warmer, but not much, and that morning is really on the cool side. Some folks could be in the upper 30s in the rural areas. Next week, as of now, looking pretty nice most of the way. We'll stay dry through Wednesday, but I'm tracking a pretty strong cold front again. This time there could be rain and maybe even a threat of some strong thunderstorms. That's what I'm seeing signs of for Thursday into early Friday. We'll keep you posted on that forecast. Otherwise, hope you enjoy your upcoming weekend here in the Triad.
All right, thank you, Tim. Tomorrow is the last day of the North Carolina Dance Festival. Now, you have a chance to see some of the best performers in the state, really. This year, they are showcasing 5 of the top choreographers in North Carolina. I spoke with Ann Morris of the Dance Project, who says it's all about experiencing something new.
A lot of people feel a little intimidated about modern and contemporary dance. And I think one of the things that I love about modern dance is that it is so open to interpretation and that everybody who comes to the show can have their own experience. You know, a lot of these choreographers are drawing from their personal experience in creating the work, but really they're making a work that's meant to be universal in a sense. And so I really want people to come away from the performance feeling like they've made a connection with the people on stage and that they've had an experience, they've felt something.
By the way, all dancers, they're from all over the state, and this gives them a way to experience each other, both professionally, and personally as well.
One of the things that is pretty unique about the North Carolina Dance Festival is that it brings artists together from across the state, and then it brings them to different communities throughout North Carolina. So we get a chance to create a statewide network between the artists, and they really get a chance to know each other and build connections with each other. And that's something that's really special to me.
So this is a big deal. They travel the state. They do different venues all across the state, and they're all North Carolina dancers, North Carolina choreographers, and so you're seeing really the best of our state when it comes to dance.
That's very cool. I just love dance shows because I feel like it's a way to learn about different cultures and different styles of music. And what I like the most is seeing the little ones that are out there. Yes. I'm just always so wowed by how talented they are. It's like they came out the womb dancing like that. So that's always the most impressive. Like, where'd they learn how to do that at?
Right, and I think this is really cool because you get to meet, like she was saying, dancers from all over the state. So making those lifelong friendships and, you know, connecting with them and just maybe seeing them, you know, down the line with different shows. So that's really, really awesome.
And this will mean something to the dancers, I think, more so than some of the other shows because it's the last one of the entire festival. So this is the last time this group will be working together, at least in this particular tour. And it's going to be something special to see.
I think anytime we can support our local talent or just our talent here in North Carolina, it's a great thing. So something great to look forward to.
And our check out the website. We've got this story there for you so you can buy your tickets if you want to. It's in downtown Greensboro at the Van Dyke Performance Center, which is in the Cultural Arts Building downtown.
It's a great way to spend like time with family and kind of like Lauren was saying, supporting the community for sure. And I love the arts, so if you're like me, it'll be great.
Okay, well then you're going to fit in with the both of us. Me and Eric love the arts. We love the theater, all of that.
Right, we talked about that this weekend, how we just love theater and love singing and things like that and dancing. And this is a great way I feel like it's just a great way to immerse yourself in a little bit of things like that. So very exciting.
Those details, like Eric said, are posted online, but it's the time of year for cooler weather, pumpkin spice, and stink bugs. What you can do to keep these annoying pests out of your home. That's next.
Pungent. It's a very odd, strong smell.
The little stinkers are back. Yes, I'm talking about stink bugs, and experts say they're everywhere. I spoke with McNeely's Pest Control to find out how to keep them out your house.
The fall season brings changing leaves, cooler weather, and the return of stink bugs. Jordan Myers is the district manager of McNeely Pest Control in Greensboro. He says his company has been busy treating homes for these fall invaders.
It starts cooling down, the plants start kind of dying, the frost hits them or something. They fly from those plants to try to seek shelter for the winter. So they'll get in the house, get under leaf litter, and behind tree bark, places like that, to just kind of hunker down for the cold winter. And then when it warms back up in the spring, they come out.
Once inside the home, Myers says there's not much the professionals can do, but taking preventative measures can save you the headache. That includes removing extra foliage around the house, sealing cracks between windows and doorways, and keeping outdoor lighting to a minimum.
And if you've had them before, right now is the time to treat before they come back in. And that's usually the biggest thing. People that live in the same place for a couple of years, they kind of expect them, they see them, and they know that they're going to have an issue in the fall.
Myers says these critters pose no real danger, other than just being a really smelly nuisance.
Once they're in the house, the only way to really get rid of them is physically removing them. Just grab a tissue or something, a napkin, to pick them up and take them out, or flush them down the toilet. Some people will just, like I said, suck them up with a vacuum.
And when it starts to get colder, Myers says rodents like mice and rats, they're also going to be looking for a warm place to stay.
Oh, no.
So you can take these same preventative measures to keep those out the house as well.
Oh gosh, if you know anything
Yikes.
about me, I don't mess with rodents.
Not messing with mice
any
and all
time,
that?
any point, any kind. Not my thing.
We had a mouse in our attic, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and we bought one of the traps that catches it so you can take it out. So I took it out to release it out in the 2-lane road, and I opened it up real quick because I didn't know. He bounded out of that thing and ran across the road and took off. Was gone.
He was ready to go.
I remember the first time we did have a mouse in the house, I was about 2 or 3 years old, so I couldn't spell yet. My mom was like, we have an M-O-U-S-E in the house, M-O-U-S-E. And I was like, what are you saying? Tell me.
It's like the Mickey Mouse song.
Yeah.
M-I-C-K-E-Y.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, yeah, that's really interesting about the stink bugs, and like
They don't
they're not
bother
gonna,
me.
they're not gonna do anything. They aren't really fun to look at, but
It's like an invasion, though. Like, just the number of them is surprising, and we got a little bumblebee
we got a
here
little
right
bug
now.
here, yeah.
Sometimes in the year you have these ladybug invasions
Yes.
too.
I
where
get that.
people see them always
Yep.
and just come inside.
We get them in our laundry room every year. There's like 30 of them, and then eventually, it's funny. Like, we just shut the door, and
Yeah.
eventually they just die. You
Yeah,
can't.
don't worry about
There's
it.
nothing you can do.
Yeah, they just become very annoying, if
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So besides the bugs, there's a lot of stuff about fall some people don't like. I know it's a favorite season for many, but I asked you on my Facebook page, what don't you like about fall? So Renee King says it gets dark too early. Rebecca Class says the winter is around the corner, don't like the cold weather. Steve Bailey, raking leaves, but love fall. Mary Keebler says allergies, and then Kayla Thompson wrote pumpkin spice. I like the pumpkin spice,
That's a hot
but
take.
I'm sure a lot of people might actually agree with her.
Yeah.
They're just tired of hearing about it. It's not that they don't like it. Probably.
Right.
Yes.
I've always said that I think the Starbucks holiday drinks, like Christmas time drinks, are much better than the pumpkin spice ones.
I do too.
Am
I
I
agree
the
with
only
that.
one? I
No,
think
I
like
agree
they
with
have
that.
better, like, so I'm not a big, I like it, but I'm
Yeah.
not like as excited about it as everybody else is.
I agree with the days getting too short.
Yes.
That's, it's tricky because, living where we do in this part of the country, I think for me, the summer is too hot.
Okay.
But I love spring and I love fall because they're kind of in between. It's cozy to be outdoors, but I don't like that it gets dark so early now. So to me, that's a little depressing. And growing up way up in New York State as I did, that time of year, I thought, oh no, we're getting into like the dark and cold season. I don't really dread the winter here like I did back then, but I still have that feeling of, a little bit of dread.
Right.
Yeah,
Fall.
I love fall.
I do
It is
too.
my favorite season. I like the fashion, I like the boots, I like the sweaters. So if I did have to pick something, it would have to be the shorter days because I don't like getting off around 5:30 and it feeling like it's 9 o'clock at night. I feel like I need to go straight to sleep when I get off. But on the flip side of that, if I want to go for a walk or something in the morning, there is sunlight. So
Now, when I used to work the morning shift, I loved when the time changed and you fall back and you get that extra, I love that. But I would say, short days, number one, but fall is probably my favorite time of the year because football, love it, and then to know that the holidays are around the corner.
Yeah,
so.
I completely agree, for sure.
alrighty, let's keep this conversation going on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Oh,
Weigh
yeah.
in. We'll join you on the live stream. We'll be right back. Rats all over the house.
Facebook.
Hello.
What's happening, folks?
What's going
I'm
on?
not logged in. I need to log in so I can see what everybody's
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
was in a
What's-
little bit earlier.
What are your weekend plans?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's.
Was that Melita? Is that what you said, Kim? Melita said love fall, hate raking.
It was nice today.
Yeah,
it was
not in
really nice.
January.
Yeah, no, maybe not when it's cold.
No, we could go out there with our jackets and have some hot cocoa.
You see,
That
when
might
I was
work.
in Indiana, that would not be an option.
No.
But here in North Carolina, definitely do more newscasts outside. In college, we used to do class outside, And I loved that.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't
like
know if
that.
anybody's ever done that, with class outside.
Oh, I have. We used to have class in the amphitheater, or when I took Spanish in college, we would, if it was nice, she would take us outside and we'd do a lesson. And
I
then
love
she'd be
that.
Like, let's play charades with our vocabulary.
It was my favorite
letters or something.
classes because it was like my teachers would be like, "It's so nice today. Like, let's just go out."
Brett says, I love fall. I'm a big fan of jackets.
Jackets are.
I am too,
I love
especially-
it how they add to an outfit.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
You
I
can
just like them because if I'm at that point in the year that I gain weight, I love jackets.
Yes.
They cover me up. That way I
Yes.
don't look so bad.
Exactly.
You can't tell how much weight I've gained.
Hey there, welcome back outdoors where we are in that beautifully comfortable weather right now. We've been talking a lot about fall, and one of the things everybody always asks me is, what are the leaves doing right now? When are they going to change? Well, this year it honestly seems to be a little ahead of schedule compared to recent years. This is a photo from a couple of days ago, and we're talking about the Grandfather Mountain area. You know it probably pretty well up along the Blue Ridge Parkway. So best guess at the moment, this is an estimate of where the color is and where it's going. If you're in the highest elevations of the Blue Ridge Parkway, we would be talking about Mount Mitchell, Grandfather, anything above about 4,500 feet in elevation. They're seeing some high color. Elsewhere, everything is still pretty green, but occasionally you do get some patches where trees are doing their thing. Typically, this is kind of how it works. Usually most of the mountains are in that mid-October range. So if you're going up to the high elevations, you will see some good color this weekend, but I think next weekend is better for those areas. Now, here locally, we usually have to wait until late October to get that peak color, but temperatures like this that keep on coming, that'll bring it out a bit sooner. We're seeing big, cool air moving across the country right now, 40s and 50s during the day up in the Great Lakes. We are expecting a big temperature drop for tomorrow. Of course, today has been near 80. Tomorrow, we will be in the 60s all day long. That's a cold front that's moving our way. There'll be a little bit of a breeze along that front, and tomorrow should be a bit of a breezy day of weather, but nothing bad. I'll have high temperatures for us in the mid 60s and then upper 60s for Sunday. So that's kind of how we see the weekend. Just make sure to bundle up a little bit, especially for Sunday morning. Quick little note for you as far as hurricane season goes. We have a new system. This is Tropical Storm Julia. It's in the Caribbean. It's pretty close to South America. It'll be moving close to Costa Rica this weekend, probably as a Category 1 hurricane. 7-day forecast for us. We are cool and dry for the weekend, getting a little warmer day by day heading into next week. Maybe a bit of a thunderstorm concern going into Thursday.
Well, whether it's mountains, beaches, or waterfalls, North Carolina's natural beauty is undeniable. In fact, a recent study rated our state as the 9th most naturally beautiful in the U.S. That's pretty cool. The report assigned a standardized number to each state based on its wonders. NC earned a 6.26 beauty score, just behind Colorado and right before New York. First place went to Washington State. That's pretty cool. I never thought New York would be on there.
I guess upstate,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Okay,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah. I've really been wanting to explore more of North Carolina. I think I'm going to try to do like a ski trip for my birthday. I know Beach Mountain is really nice up there, but I need some recommendations for sure.
I can hook you up.
Yes.
Go look at Lauren's list. She's got about 50 things she needs to do.
We could try to knock them off together.
Right. We'll have to do that.
The best thing, I think, so I didn't appreciate it. When you grow up somewhere, you think, I can't wait to get out, you know, when you're young. And so I did. And then I was like, oh, I get it. And I moved back. And when I moved to Florida, it's funny, Floridians love North Carolina. So they buy mountain property up near Asheville, west of Asheville and Franklin, those communities. And all my friends in Florida said, why did you move out of North? And I didn't get it. I'm like, I'm in sunny vacation
this
Florida.
is like great,
And after about 6 years, I said, yeah, you know what? I miss mountains and coast within a day's drive.
All the seasons too.
Yes.
One of the big things I like about North Carolina is I like to do lots of quick getaways. So you can go to Asheville, you can go to the mountains, you can go to Wilmington for the beach, or if you want to party and turn up, you can go to Charlotte, you can go to Raleigh. There's just so much to do in our city.
I mean, 3.5 hours gets you in any direction, gets you to a lot of cool places.
That's definitely what I've noticed for sure. I'm from Georgia, and then I've been to Indiana, Missouri. I've done all of it, so I definitely noticed that I actually feel like it's hot when it's supposed to be hot, it's cold when it's supposed to be cold, and things like that. So I can't wait to explore more.
And the people are nice.
Yeah.
Great Southern hospitality.
Try.
Well, we're continuing this conversation on Facebook. While you're there, search for the 4 to 5 Club and join our group. Right now, we have 1,200 members, and we are trying to get to 1,500. So send us an invite, and I'll make sure to let you into the group. We'll be right back.
Hello, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6. Oh my gosh, that would be really cool if you did. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. We're all here today. Tim, Eric, Ariel, Lauren.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks for watching us on WFMI News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMI News 2 app. And it's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Yes.
Fall Friday.
Fall Friday.
Yes.
And it's also the month of Halloween, which we're going to be talking about on
boy.
Facebook.
Yes.
I love
What
it.
you used to carry your candy in the night of trick-or-treating.
That's a good question.
It is,
I'm
'cause
start
it's
thinking about
berries.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, so be thinking about that throughout the show.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
So it's Friday, and we're thinking about weekend and weekend sports. We're ramping up for a night of sports, though, right here in the Triad. We have team coverage. 2 major events getting underway soon.
WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is live at the Greensboro Coliseum ahead of the Hornets preseason game. And our Jalen Gilkey is live in Eden for Friday Football Fever.
Let's kick things off with you, Amanda. The Hornets take on the Celtics. You think we'll see the Ball brothers together on the court today?
Yeah, we should see both Ball brothers here in Greensboro, which is a pretty cool thing because we haven't seen LaMelo Ball here, but we have seen LiAngelo Ball here with the Swarm. He's played some time there, but both Ball brothers on the Hornets roster now, getting ready for that game against the Celtics coming up later tonight. But it's a really cool night, really special night to see the Hornets play here in a preseason game. The Hornets vice chairman tells us why it's so important to do things like this here in Greensboro.
Well, it's exciting because we feel like the entire state owns our team, and we're playing with pride for the state of North Carolina. We're only 90 minutes away, and we certainly want to have fans from Greensboro come down and support us during the season. What better way to give them a peek under the hood at what a great young team we have and how exciting we are than to bring it right here into the Greensboro community.
Celtics and Hornets tip off at 7:30 here inside the Greensboro Coliseum. And if you are planning to come, you might want to leave a little early because we are expecting to see some traffic in this area.
That is one of the things on my list. I definitely want to go to a Hornets game. I like NBA basketball. When I lived in Memphis, we went to Grizzlies games all the time, so I'm excited about this season.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I want to do that too. I know that there are a lot coming up, so I really want to get the ticket and go down there and explore
There's
that.
such a party, like when there's a dead ball foul or something, it's just a big throwdown, basically.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It's cool to just be able to kind of go to all of the local sports here, right? Like our Grasshoppers games
Swarm,
and just kind of like enjoy that. And it's just like a lot about Greensboro that I like a lot.
One of the other things I like about the Triad as well, but now we're going to check in with Jalen Gilkey. He is covering our Friday football matchup, McMichael versus Moorhead High. Jalen.
Yeah, Lauren, we're here at Moorhead High ahead of tonight's old school slugfest here in Rockingham County as Moorhead hosts their crosstown rivals from McMichael. Now, the Panthers are 3-0 on the season and are looking to remain undefeated against Rockingham County opponents on the year. Earlier in the day, we caught up with Panthers head coach Maurice Terrain ahead of tonight's matchup.
It's a rivalry game. With us and McMichael, being down the road, it puts a little more emphasis on it. McMichael's having a great season at 5-1. We're 3-3, trying to break through and get to where we want to get. So it's pretty a big conference game for us, and it's a big momentum swing for either team. This game right here is pretty big.
And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll hear from some of the seniors from the McMichael Panthers squad. And I know they're juiced up ahead of this big rivalry. Kickoff here at Moorhead is at 7:30. Back to you guys.
Exciting game, definitely much better weather tonight than what people were seeing last week with all the rain and the gusty winds and everything.
Yeah, and this is like time for, we've talked about this before, how high school football games, they're as much a social event as they are anything.
That for me, for sure.
Yes, I remember all the kids throwing, the guys would be behind the bleachers throwing footballs back and forth and running around with so much fun.
Yeah. Walking around to talk to everybody. Me and my friends would be texting, what are you going to wear tonight? What are you going to wear? So-and-so, Michael's going to be there.
I know, that was like the date night spot.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna run into my crush today, like behind the bleachers.
So after the game in high school, where would you guys go?
Probably out to eat like Applebee's or something like that. Fridays.
Yeah, Steak and Shake. Our producer just yelled in our ear, Kiana. She just said Steak and Shake, Taco Mac. I don't know. It might be like an Atlanta thing.
Might be an Atlanta thing.
Taco Mac.
But isn't it funny how it's always like a restaurant? Like we would go to the McDonald's and literally cruise in circles around the McDonald's looking for all the girls looking for guys, guys looking for girls. That's
hey
all
girl,
we did.
can I get you some fries with that shake? Was that the pickup line that you used?
High school is
No
such
lines.
an interesting time. Like,
I
can you
know.
imagine getting dressed up to the nines for a football game?
Yes, that's why I said, what are you wearing tonight? We would really try to, plan our
Look
outfits
cute,
accordingly.
It was a social
sparkly
event, right.
eyeshadow. Like, we didn't even watch the game. Like, we
Yeah.
were just behind the bleachers the whole time.
Oh, we
even,
won?
Didn't even know.
Most of the people watching the game were the parents of the players.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They were watching. Yeah.
So funny. All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. Governor Roy Cooper is backing President Biden's recent announcement on pardoning simple marijuana offenses today. He provided this statement that reads in part, the president's actions are in line with the North Carolina's Task Force for Racial Equity in Criminal Justice, recommending the decriminalization of small marijuana amounts. While the General Assembly has not yet acted on this, I believe it should. The Attorney General also provided a statement agreeing with President Biden. In it, he says he's looking forward to working with lawmakers to expunge past convictions for simple possession charges in North Carolina. Right now, we're learning more about the criminal investigation involving the president's son, Hunter Biden. The FBI and IRS believe they now have enough evidence to charge him with tax crimes and for making false statements on a gun purchase. Officials say none of the charges involve business dealings overseas. Hunter Biden's attorneys say the allegations are biased and inaccurate. GOP leaders plan on investigating the Biden family business if they take control of key congressional committees in January.
Some Duke Power customers in the Triad could see higher bills soon. Duke Energy Progress, which provides service in Randolph County, submitted a rate increase request. If the change is approved, rates for residential customers in Randolph County could go up 19%. The increase would take effect next year. Right now, a massive military hiring event is underway in the Triad. It's going on at the Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem. Right now, more than 30 veteran-friendly companies are looking to fill 3,000 open jobs. The event wraps up at 6 p.m., so you still have some time. The first 200 attendees get tickets to the Army-Wake Forest game tomorrow.
Great weather, whatever you want to do, whether it's football this weekend or, being outside, take a hike, anything is looking to be pretty good. It just depends on when you're doing it as to what you need to wear. Right now, shorts and a t-shirt are fine because we're close to 80 degrees outside. This is our warmest day in a couple of weeks. Temperatures right now are in those upper 70s, close to 80, but this time tomorrow it will feel totally different. Much cooler air is on the way. Take a look at downtown Greensboro. We have a couple of high wispy clouds at the moment as we wait on that cold front, which is going to be swinging by our area later on this evening, kind of after darkness. Temperatures right now are pretty warm, of course, mid 70s in the foothills, upper 70s. A couple of spots have hit that 80-degree mark today. Up in the mountains, it's even warm there in the upper 60s. Now the wind, it's starting to get a little bit breezy. It's very comfortable, but we have a gust of about 5 to 10 miles per hour at the moment. It should stay a touch breezy and getting a little bit more so once the front swings by for tomorrow. So where do we go tonight? Well, temperatures will still be around 70 at 7 o'clock, even after sunset. And then around midnight, we're around the mid 60s. Tomorrow morning, though, that cooler air is starting to rush in. So we're only going to warm up about 10 degrees all day long for your Saturday. Starting in the mid 50s, ending up in the mid 60s, it'll be a breezy and fall-like Saturday, just different than today. So get the sweatshirt, find it, and use it for tomorrow. As far as the rest of the weekend goes, I see a little bit warmer air for Sunday, but that morning low in the low 40s, that'll make sure you have to bundle a little bit to start the day. That's how the weekend's going. Heading into next week, I see more of the same, good amounts of sun, not really anything hazardous. However, a big cold front is on the way for Thursday. This one, not going to be dry. We could have a good chance of rain, but also possibly some severe thunderstorms. We'll be tracking that for you pretty closely as we go into next week.
All right, thanks, Tim. If you're looking for some Halloween fun, there's an event tonight, might be just what the doctor ordered. The Elsewhere Museum is launching its annual extravaganza, Nightmare on South Elm Street.
Here's WFMI News 2's Denise McMiller with a preview of the creepy encounters spectators might run into.
Elsewhere Museum on a regular day is a living museum. But this spooky season, they are taking it up a notch, and I'm joining in on the fun. I'm here with my ghost buddy and the permanent resident, and we can't forget about our mer person. So we are right now in the living library, part of the haunted tours. Talk to us about what you all have planned for folks.
Sure. So this is our 13th extravaganza, our annual fundraiser and community-centric event. So we had to get spooky. We're on South Elm Street, so it's Nightmare on South Elm Street is the theme. We have a guided haunted museum tour. I was dragged out of the ocean to help give these tours. And it's not so scary as much as playful. So we're playing with what people find scary, and even who I am and how I'm dressed somebody might find scary. We have a comedian dressed as a black widow spider on a bone throne who will be telling jokes, some at our guests' expense. But then, so we'll be doing tours on Friday today from 4 until 10, Saturday from 5 to 8, and then we turn the whole thing into our nightmare party. Ooh. Saturday, 7 to 11. We have a thriller choreography, we have a costume contest, spooky cocktails. It's just all things Halloween, and it's all to generate support for our work. And our work is really to honor the creative spirit of everybody who walks in the door. This building was filled with materials and objects over many decades by one woman, Sylvia Gray. Mm-hmm. And rather than selling it all off, it was decided that nothing would be for sale. It would all be raw materials for artists and the public to rearrange and reimagine endlessly. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we're called the Living Museum.
All right, and we have all the details up on the screen for you for the festivities happening this weekend. If you want to give to the creative spirits here at the Living Museum, the tours will be every 20 minutes. And if you like to come out, you can either book your tickets online or you can come on in and walk in.
Fun stuff. So we were saying we thought that the ghost behind them, that somebody was actually in that, and they were gonna like.
I was waiting
for it. I said, I think somebody is in there.
I like Halloween, but I don't like being scared.
No,
like that. I love the costumes. I love the movies. I love all of that, but I can't. I'm such a baby when it comes
Woods of
together.
Terror would. That is one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Oh gosh.
And so you were scared.
It's ranked. I don't like haunted houses, but I had to do that for a live shot once. Never again.
Never again.
They're really good.
Really good. And they get into character.
Yes.
Like even if you're like please stop, they will keep on coming for you. So I'm not.
I went to one that was inside of a wax museum, so
Oh.
some people were real and some were wax.
My God.
So somebody could be standing there and then they just come up with you with a hand, and they take your pictures while you're in there too, and it shows you like jumping and grabbing everyone. So in the moment it's scary, but all you can do is laugh once you get out.
Yeah. And maybe that's what it is. Like after you get out, you feel like laughter and like you feel that feeling. But
or I go to the hospital.
Yeah, you would probably dislike me. I would have clawed you.
Yeah, like, you never know what you're like. You're gonna like maybe punch them in the face and get in trouble. Oh my gosh, not pretty.
Well, if you're looking for more frightening fun, we've got you covered. Just text the word SCARE to this number 336-379-5775, and we'll respond with a link of haunted trails and attractions.
Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. Brewery pimento cheese. We have a A&B blonde honey peg chili. But there's more. Wait. There is Raindrop IPA barbecue sliders. We got some A&B glazed apple wings.
All right, what is all the yumminess? It's a food competition from the Carolina Classic Fair. Now this one centered around A&B, Appalachian Mountain Brewing. All the dishes had to incorporate beer. Okay, I was a judge there last night. There were 16 dishes to try.
Yeah, hard job.
Well,
right?
you know, they had me at beer, right?
Yes.
And then there was no drinking of beer, right? You could cleanse your palate with water or milk or crackers. Okay, but it was beer infused dishes, right?
Okay.
And so they tell you, you know, winner chicken dinner. Well, the top prize here was $400 bucks.
Whoa, can I join us?
So, did you bring anything back?
Yeah,
for
where's
us?
the
No,
food?
so there's no bringing back.
Okay.
Like,
samples.
I mean, yeah, and so what they do is they put everything out, right? And then they put a small portion on another plate because you're not to like dip your fork into anything, right? You don't cross-contaminate anything. And so you take a little bit, and if they have like pasta and shrimp and bread, you have to have a bite of all of it, right?
Oh, okay.
And so, and then you eat it, and then you score it on that.
So the pimento cheese sounded really interesting to me.
It was very beery. I will say that.
Really?
I scored it high on the use of product because I could taste the beer in it, right?
Isn't that like the thing about making cheese like that? Like it's like the
beer
hops.
cheese?
Yeah, like
there is beer cheese. Some people did
Yeah.
it better than others. I'll just say that. So this is one of those competitions where you get a ribbon and you get the money and the bragging rights. But there are many competitions just like this through the fair time. And I talked to the coordinator on Instagram Live about it. This is what he said. What else do you have?
We have one that is anything with North Carolina honey.
Okay.
We have a contest made with Rock of Ages wine. We have a contest made with Mustard and Crutchfield pimento cheese. We have a contest with WBFJ Heavenly Layer cake.
You just had cheesecakes, didn't you?
That's Village Tavern.
How many?
We had 24 entries.
Can you imagine eating 24 bites of cheesecake? I know it sounds good, and yet. And yet.
Sign me up.
That's a lot, though.
I don't know.
I know you say that.
But 24 is a lot.
I love cheesecake.
That's like several slices if you think about it.
Until number 17.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
They're all
my
starting
gosh.
to taste the same. now.
Exactly.
The largest competition they had was cakes. 60
Goodness.
different
Oh,
entries.
my goodness.
60. So they divided the judges so that they
Okay.
only had to taste 30 apiece.
Yeah.
Only 30.
Only 30.
That's still so much.
Not that
sorry.
big of a deal.
Hey, the coordinator says the fair pays out higher than the state fair. I thought that was interesting. How do you get to be one of the judges? How do you get to be one of the entries? I've got it online for you.
Very cool.
Sounds good. And we're talking more about this on our Facebook page. Let us know what your favorite dessert is while you're there. Search for the 4 to 5 Club and join our group. We're at 1,200 and we're trying to get those numbers up. So make sure you send us an invite.
Well, for the first time in 6 years, McDonald's is bringing back its signature Boo Buckets. Do you remember these? The popular collectible items. They're returning to the stores on October 18th. The buckets will feature 3 famous characters. I love the names: McBoo, McPumpkin, and McGoblin. I like McPumpkin, who first appeared on the McDonald's merchandise back in 1986, a long time ago. For a limited time, the buckets will replace the standard Happy Meal box. So the popular Halloween buckets got us thinking about what you put your candy in when you trick-or-treated as a kid. These answers are all over the place. MD Moore, he's a regular. He said it varied from year to year, sometimes a paper grocery bag, sometimes a pillowcase, if you're expecting a lot, and sometimes one of the store-bought Halloween decorated bags there. Candace says, we were poor, no costume, just wore parents' big clothes and used soot from the stove to cover our face, no mask, and a pillowcase to collect our treats in. Roger said a paper bag, I think. Might have been a while since you think about that. Pumpkin bucket, I had one of those. That's what Aaron said. And then Danny Barnes said the pillowcase. So I think it depends on what you were doing. For the neighborhood, in me, it was just the plastic pumpkin that my mom bought me, and we put in the attic every year. I think I used it 7 years in a row. But if you're going high school, like when we were doing something like that, pillowcase.
Yeah,
that
once
was
you get older.
My situation too. I had like the typical, orange pumpkin plastic case, and then when I went to high school, everybody was doing the pillowcases, and I never even heard of that until high school.
Yeah, get more candy that way, I always did, I think one of our viewers said this too, like a nice little decorated bag. So I always, I'm really big fashionista, so I always wanted my bag to match my costume. I think I'm still that way. I think that just transferred over to my adult life.
You were accessorizing.
Yeah, but I had that, and then pillowcase I transferred over.
Never did a pillowcase.
Really?
Not once, ever. We had, I think, these McDonald's buckets sometimes.
Okay.
They didn't fit that much. So eventually we got these bigger buckets from the store
Okay.
they were Halloween themed, and they glowed in the dark.
Oh, nice.
So if you put them
Fancy.
in the lights throughout the day, when you walked around, they would be bright
that.
and glowing. And we would always have a flashlight in there too, because it's real dark outside.
Yeah,
Yes.
safety first.
Yes, for sure.
All right, we're coming back. We'll be right back.
One, two, three. This is me.
Boo, I scared you. I made you get really scared.
Hey, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. Sorry. Okay. 10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1. 10-9-8-7-6-5.
Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together. Am I in the A block?
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents, and today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, food, people, F-O-O-D, food. Love it. We're talking comfort Southern foods. Southern Living had an article, the top 30 foods you need to know how to make if you're going to be in the South, and they rank these. You may disagree, but here we go. Squash casserole, old school, grandma style, right? Number 2, fried green tomatoes, love them. Buttermilk biscuits, of course. Sweet tea, deviled eggs. Deviled eggs, But for me, I said, let me pick my top 5 Southern comfort foods. And there's a reason for all of them. So number 1, bar none, easy choice, mac and cheese. I don't care how you make it. I don't care if it's creamy or baked or lobster mac and cheese or jalapeno mac and cheese. Eat it all. Love it. Number 2 would be meatloaf. That reminds me of my mom. The dishes, that meal was always meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. I love that. So meatloaf comes in there. Potatoes au gratin is something I love. That may not be on your thing, but that was always a holiday dish for us, and I absolutely loved it. Then I'm gonna have to tie that with mashed potatoes because I can't choose between those two. Next on the list, I appreciate as I got older, shrimp and grits. Talk to me. Shrimp and grits, but put some andouille sausage in there and make it spicy. Lord have mercy. And then this one my wife makes fun of me for. Soup or chili? Love all soups and chili, but what she picks on me about is that I'll eat it year round. So it'll be 98 degrees up in here and I'm eating a hot bowl of soup. I don't know why. I love it. Bottom line is, take a break from your diet. Eat a comfort food this weekend because those lows are going to be in the 40s and even in the 30s in the mountains. It's a perfect time to do it. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now. Well, right now at 5, we're hearing from the pilot whose plane crashed in a Greensboro neighborhood, and thankfully nobody was hurt.
WFMY News 2 Sydney Moore is learning more about the man and his history as a pilot. Sydney, you're saying this man has been flying for decades.